cooked.
You know they don't teach slavery anymore.
Trying to run it back. That's horrifying.
Not putting that in the title. The U.S. crime rate is at one of the lowest it's ever been.
What? Bare hands, brother. We bombed Yemen.
I forgot to say that. You better be prepared and scared. I'm on a roll now.
Oh, the light.
You're in the whip with Flex.
Flip.
And today, it's just the two of us in the whip, steering you in the right direction as we break down the latest news and global events shaping our world. Coming up next, trying something different. Coming up next, accidental leak of military plans via Signal app. So, a major security breach exposed U.S. military plans after a journalist was mistakenly added to a private chat involving Trump's administration officials. That sounds like some stuff out of a movie, or just like some stuff
got the scoop of the century.
That's what I'm saying, bro. How does that even happen? You would think that there would. We'll get into it. It just sounds goofy.
It's a new phone. Who this?
Yo got added to the chat. He's got in the chat. That's crazy, man. Hey, so NATO's call for civilian preparedness. A top NATO official is warning that everyday people need to prepare for possible conflicts. Now that sounds crazy.
That's insane.
That sounds really crazy, especially coming from somebody official that's way up there telling everyday people they need to prepare. Yeah. It's getting crazy out here, man. And lastly, executive order requiring proof of citizenship for voting. Trump's new executive order could reshape voter eligibility by requiring proof of citizenship and setting strict deadlines for ballots. We kind of touched on this before, but I think there's a little bit more of just some updates regarding the whole executive order.
Fair. And then on that, like, are we talking proof of citizenship, like just the passport? Because I know the thing we talked about before, I believe, was the fact that people who are married were going to have that kind of problem because their birth certificate doesn't match with their new name. Yeah,
so I'm not fully sure. I think we're going to talk about it in the video, but I'm not fully sure. I just know that it's going to affect people who were. It's going to affect both the people who were born here but didn't come from their parents weren't citizens, but it's also going to affect the people who are not here but became naturalized citizens. It's going to affect both of those people.
Shit.
So it's going to be interesting how this stuff plays out, man. So yeah, man, we got a lot to unpack, man. You know, hopefully we can steer in the right direction, man. Hey, Flip, tell us about the whip of the week.
Whip of the week is the Audi. You know, you already seen it before.
You already seen it. We've been here before, man. Bring it back.
Quattro, all-wheel, still slick.
Yeah.
Always gonna be slick.
Yeah.
Updates on my car search, because fuck all that. Fuck all that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about what we're doing. So are we looking at luxury or utility for the next car? Because in terms of like what I'm looking for, I've heard Honda, Toyota, always solid to go with, like reliable. And I have a Honda right now, so I agree with that. I want an Audi.
Yeah.
I want an
Now
Audi.
You want an Audi. Bro, this is the first time I think you ever said anything about an Audi.
I want an Audi. I want a Q5.
Okay.
I want a Q5.
Okay.
I know I don't want a Beamer.
What happened? You literally just said I wanted a Beamer.
I know. And my girlfriend gonna be mad. Her last name Beamer, so she used to love that I say that shit.
But her last name's Beamer?
Yeah.
No way. That's cool.
Don't tell me no shit. Oh shit. Okay. I thought you were gonna be like, yo, why got family?
Nah, bro, no, not even like that.
Nah,
man.
but
that's a cool last name.
It's
unique.
Yeah. Audis or Honda. Like, I'm either gonna go luxury or I'm gonna go like a HRV, CRV.
What are you feeling? Like, what do you actually want, brother?
I want an SUV that's slick on the inside and slick on the outside. Now, I want a luxury car, but do I have luxury car bread and credit right now? No. And I'm going to have luxury car bread and credit in the next few years. So it's like, do I wait?
Yeah.
I got a Civic that I can literally run till like 250 if I need to.
I feel you, bro.
I want to get out.
I think it's time to upgrade, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I want to get out the
Sylvia's
Civic.
she held it down,
now,
bro, but it's
what
time.
I'm saying is I can get Sylvia, get a little chicken for Sylvia, put that down on my next car. But there's a thing I'm going down on my next car with, a car I'm just going to have a couple years, or a car I'm probably only going to have my next car for a couple years, and I'm going to go to some hot shit.
So, okay, so this next car that you want
is an intermediate.
Why would you spend all your bread on a car like that if you know within a couple years after that you're going to be getting a new car?
Because I'm going to sell it in a couple of years and it may depreciate. But
it's going to depreciate.
But it's like, how much is it going to depreciate? Like, you feel me? It's just gonna be.
If you're gonna be every day in that
interim
joint,
car.
Yeah.
Interim car every day. I'm every day in it if I get in a few years though too.
I feel you, but you don't. If you're gonna use that car, just like use it for a while and then sell it, you're better off either. So my opinion is you either ball out now, or you say fuck it, I'm gonna go with a nice little joint just every day until I get to the spot that I want.
Honda got back in the yada, man. I get a little 2-year Honda, and then I go on some hot shit when I'm really playing out my shit. Get something that I really want. But I don't. On those Q5, Q7, I want
the Audis. Yeah.
I want the Q5. Q7 just seems like a lot of shit.
What year?
Q3 seems
like this is we're talking about
2015.
No, we're talking about this year in a couple year joints.
Shit. I'm probably gonna look at 2020. I don't know. I don't got a couple year money yet. We'll see.
You gotta start thinking about that.
We will, yeah.
You gotta start thinking about that.
Shit.
I'm just saying, if you're thinking about what you want in the future, then you know how to plan right now what you're coming up with this next intermediate car. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
I just don't want you to be out here spending all this bread on an intermediate car that you gonna get rid of later. So what about something happens to the car? I don't want nothing to.
Nah.
But you don't want, now you just lost some bread that you could have. You could use for that other car.
I feel you. That's always a capability. But Sylvia done did
She
her
been
due
going through the
diligence.
ringer, bro. I ain't going.
She done did her due diligence.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Time for someone else to appreciate Sylvia.
That's what I'm saying, bro. But that's what's up, man. Updates on my car search. There are no updates. I've been bullshitting. I still, like I said, I need another car that I can just, daily around and put too much on the other car. I just want something chill. I'm still looking at that Toyota. That Act we saw today.
Yeah.
That joint was slick.
Well, the TLX.
It's crazy. My parents were like, yo, get an Act. I'm like, nah,
bro. That's the Acura's Honda.
That's what I'm saying. No, bro. In my mind, I always put it way below what it actually is.
You seen that joint drive by?
And I saw that joint. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking about I might do a little more research on it. It's creeping its way in. You know what I'm saying, to the rotation. To the thought process.
That's fair.
Yeah, man, that's good, man. That's what's up, man. There was something that you wanted to talk about before we got started about the basketball thing.
Yeah, I had slipped my mind.
Yeah,
but I heard Maryland's head coach didn't go to their team dinner the night before their March Madness game, and it was announced he accepted the coaching position at Villanova instead of attending, and didn't attend the Maryland basketball game.
All right, I'm gonna give a little more context just for the people out there who either don't know what's going on, haven't heard of it, or just just giving a little more context. So the Maryland coach, they are currently still in March Madness, right? Or they were.
I think they just lost. They just lost last night,
and that was the game he left.
That was the game he left.
So the Maryland coach. They were literally in the March Madness. They had a game the next day. He didn't go. He didn't attend the team dinner that they had the night before. Come to find out, he had accepted another coaching job with Villanova, and he left the team hanging. That's just crazy.
That's crazy.
No, that's really crazy. Not even he couldn't even finish the game.
Shout out Derek Queen, Baltimore born, holding it down.
Yeah,
but. That's crazy. That's crazy work. They're making a run. You're in the mix.
Yeah, in the mix.
And you're hot on Instagram now because y'all just came off that hot shit. That's why he got the job. They probably hit him with some, hey, we looking at a few candidates. We got to know now or never.
But he couldn't be like...
You can't wait till after the season.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You got a couple more games. You can't even... I don't know. Personally, I would have waited to... till the season's over before I left, but I don't know the situation, what everything was that was going into it. Are you doing a little more research on it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I would have waited. I just feel like you're letting your team down at that point. I understand you're accepting a new job. It's an opportunity that he felt as though he couldn't wait on, but you're letting your team down at that point. That's my opinion on the situation. I don't know the whole ins and outs. It could be like you said, it could have been right now or never. And he was like, I need it right now, or this is something I want right now. So, hey man, shout out to the Maryland team. I think they did just lose. They lost.
Yeah, they lost to Florida.
Okay, they lost to Florida. Hey man, but I'm proud of them boys for making it that far. Not everybody was able to make it that far. They played their hardest, man. It was good to see, man. I'm not a real big college basketball guy, or not really a college sports guy, but I like the intensity and hustle that the college just atmosphere brings. It's a lot more fun.
Yeah, so I'm really trying to get. a little more detail because it seemed when I was told, and I was like, yo, that makes no sense. And I just saw something else. It's like that's the first time a Maryland head coach has even left, let alone left in the middle of March Madness. I don't know how many times that could even happen. And as a coach, I just feel as though that I never want to leave. Like if you're coaching people, I never want to leave the people that I was really with, like in the middle of war. Like
that's what I'm saying. They put their trust in you. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna leave them out there in the middle of battle. If we, taking it like war, like they left them right in the middle of battle. Like y'all on your own. Like I'm going to other team.
Going to Villanova.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, but congrats on Villanova.
Hey, congrats on them, man. Hey, that's what's up, man. Hey, before we keep going, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you fuck with the videos, man. I be forgetting to say that, man. It's a little weird for me to say, but if you like the videos, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and if you think it'd be beneficial for somebody else or somebody else might like this, go ahead and send it to them, man.
Share the link.
Share the video, man. You know what I'm saying?
Just share the video, man.
Yeah, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. All right, let's get right into it, man. Man, it's not a lot of stuff to talk about. There's a couple little things. We got one of the stories. I didn't bring it up, but we'll just talk about it. President Trump's executive order on museums and Confederate statues. President Trump issued an order to remove anti-American ideology from museums and bring back statues of Confederate leaders. Go ahead and pull up the video, man. This is really interesting. This is an executive order also. So they're going to play the video. They're going to give you a little bit more context before we talk about it a little more. But we're going to go. I think it's number 1 on there.
And right off the top, another round of executive orders from President Donald Trump. He signed 3 orders yesterday. One of them is to end collective bargaining at agencies involved with national security. Another is meant to remove, quote, improper ideology from the Smithsonian Institution. The third is to make the District of Columbia safe and beautiful. And just moments ago, the president posted this on social media. He expanded on his order to make D.C. safe and beautiful, saying, I will work with the mayor on this, and if it does not happen, we'll have no choice but to do it myself. Trump also called on Congress to address funding to the nation's capital. So let's bring in CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro to help us break all of this down. Happy Friday to you, Aaron.
I just feel like you wanted to say something.
No. I thought that was in the video.
Oh, okay. No, we're not playing the whole.
Aaron, we've seen the president sign orders, but the impact can get lost in the shuffle. How can we expect to see these orders play out?
Hey, Muko, good to be with you. I will start with the executive order about the Smithsonian, where you saw President Trump essentially appoint Vice President Vance to lead a task force to review exhibits, programs that they believe are, quote, improper or have divisive ideology based on race. In a fact sheet provided by the White House, they specifically cite exhibits at the National Museum of African Americans as well as the National Museum of Women showing transgender women in their exhibits. That is something that the task force will look into, as well as look at prohibiting federal funding for exhibits that they disagree with. We know the Smithsonian's got about $1 billion of federal funding in the fiscal year of 2024. And that other big one, the one about Washington, D.C., also creates a task force to focus on ramping up law enforcement here when it comes to immigration enforcement, as well as a quick line in the fact sheet about expediting concealed carry licenses. There are strict gun rules and laws in Washington, D.C. This task force, which remains to be seen what exactly authority they have, since we don't know if there are any actual D.C. City Council members that will be on this task force, but Trump certainly looking to exude more power over the nation's capital.
Yeah, clearly so.
So there's a lot to unpack in there. They said a lot of stuff. Anything you want to touch on before I?
Just the fact that they're saying like improper ideology. I need like a definition on that.
Bro, you know what they mean. Come on, bro. You said the 2 places they named.
You said the African American and the women's. Said ain't shit about those 2 things. Like when you say anti-American, that's, and then they said they went and said improper ideology, and it's like, what do you mean improper?
You know, they choose specific language so that to help with their, I don't want to use the word agenda, that feels cliche, but to you know what I'm saying? Improper ideology. What does that mean? You know, like, why are you playing word games with me right now? You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's just I'm really I'm concerned with, because the same thing is happening in education where they're trying to take certain books away and certain sections out of.
I'm gonna cut you up.
Courses.
You know they don't teach slavery anymore.
They don't anymore. Definitely don't.
They don't. Like they don't, or they say they were indentured servants.
That's a whole different thing. That's literally.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They were indentured servants, bro.
So actually, they weren't. They were slaves. The reason indentured servitude was made was because they weren't slaves.
And this isn't. This isn't something I've gotten off of Instagram or online. This is coming from my actual nieces and nephews. Like, so this is legit real.
What?
They don't know. Well, we're trying to teach them now. But at the same time, this is real.
And my friend, my dad knows that. One time we went to a field trip when I was in 4th grade, and it was like to a plantation. And the word they used for slaves was friends. Like, our friends were picking cotton instead of just saying the slaves.
Yeah.
So they've already been trying to do this, but it's like, I guess they want this mentality that if we can't keep looking to the past, if we want to have a better future, but it's
not even that. It's literally covering up the past. I'm not saying that should be the forefront of everything, slavery and all that other stuff, but you can't ignore those type of things. If you don't know where you're coming from, how are you gonna know where you're going? To an extent, I don't fully agree with that all the way. That's saying all the way, but I'm saying it's good to know that stuff. To know, okay, we came from here. How we don't want to make those same mistakes.
They just trying to run it back.
That's what I'm saying. They're trying to get rid of it so they can run it.
They need to run this move on.
That's what I'm saying, bro. If they get rid of it, then they can. If no one remembers it, they don't see what's coming. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. The next thing I want to impact, I didn't even catch this the first time I watched it. The what's it called about DC trying to make it beautiful again and ramping up on stopping crime. You know how I said about language and they choose specific words. What does it mean stopping crime? What does that entail?
Anytime the nigga uses again anymore, Trump can't say the word again. Every time you say again, I feel disrespected.
And I think that one is crazy. The language they use, the deliberate language they use.
That's a big part of politics. That language game,
dialect. I know.
It's so devious.
I know.
Because it gets under people's skin who really listen. And you be like, "What do you mean by that?"
Yeah.
And they be like, "I didn't mean anything." And
so
that's my politician who got caught up in his shit voice.
I feel you.
Beautiful again. I just like it beautiful.
So what are the implications of this? This action could change how history is shown in museums, possibly leaving out important stories about different people. Like basically what I was saying before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't know, if they get rid of that, I'm just bringing that. If they get rid of that and we don't have something to be able to, we know this could happen because it's marked down in history before, it's written down somewhere before, we're not going to be able to see the sign of what's coming up next. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, their language is crazy.
Yeah, the language that they use, the deliberate language that they use is crazy. And we've seen this before. And like you said, it's a part of politics. You know what I'm saying? They got to choose. I think the correct word is dialect. They use a certain
lingo. I know what the word you're looking for is.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
It's not dialect? No. It's something else with a D, right?
Dialect is like somebody's...
Yeah, no, it's not dialect. Rhetoric. That's the word.
Okay.
It's rhetoric. So they use specific rhetoric to get a specific point across and incite specific emotions. What happened?
Way to get over.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? But yeah, man. So they use specific rhetoric to do that. And that is just... I don't know. I wish they could... I understand they can't be, but... I'd rather know what's going on, bro. Like, tell me what you gonna do, man, so that I can...
Nah, bro. You don't want to hear that shit.
I do, bro.
You don't want a world where people are actually able to say what they about to do. People gonna be so anxious, bro. Like, is it gonna work at that point?
I'd rather, bro.
Are you really gonna be able to do something like clear DC of crime, quote unquote?
What does that even mean? You see what I'm saying, bro?
Anybody who seems like they can.
Can I say something crazy that I realized or that I found out? The U.S. crime rate is at one of the lowest it's ever been. So what crime are we getting rid of?
The crime rate might be low, but the criminals aren't low. The criminals are at an all-time high.
Dude, I guess to them, man. Hey, man, like I said, this is something crazy, man. Let me know how you guys feel down in the comments, man. Do you think this is something good for the country? Do you think it's something bad? How do you feel about it? What are the implications? Oh, how do you feel about the bringing back the the Confederate leaders and stuff like that? They talked about that, bringing back Confederate leader statues and stuff. Remember how they just got rid of one a couple years ago, and now they're bringing it back?
I
feel like this is a good conversation.
Because
okay, let me.
So if I'm sitting on the side of we gotta remember history,
yeah, that's what I was about to say.
But I think that remembering history and celebrating certain figures is a little crazy. So
this might be a hot topic. I don't think they should have took him down personally. I feel like now they're trying to put him back up. That's crazy. I think they should have just left him. It was part of history. It is what it is. I think they should have just left it there. It would have been cool. Like I said, it's a part of American history. You should have just left him there in the first place. I know it sounds crazy. People are gonna go crazy on me in the comments, but I feel like we should have just left him there.
Just elaborate. Just go a little deeper into the topic of like how you feel.
Yeah,
because you're basically saying history is history is history. Like, don't mess with. They got the statue, and that was a point that America was at.
Yeah,
he got a statue. He was big dog.
Yeah, he was big dog back then. And I understand now, I guess there's some type of feelings that come up with it.
And there was a big woke movement.
Yeah.
In the past few years. Like, it was a lot of... So I think that while they're trying to, like, quell the wokeness...
They said that, actually, too. They want to get rid of woke culture. They've said a lot of stuff. Now.
It's just like... They're going back and forth now, but it's extreme. It's definitely extremes. Because those were the most marches I ever seen us have with BLM. Then it was Cops Lives Matter. Then it was
all that stuff. What were you saying though about the Black Lives Matter movement, the Cops movement?
It was a lot of movements.
Yeah.
The last few years, there was a lot of marching. Like, goddamn, I marched a few blocks myself. Like, I was...
Did you really?
Yeah. Me and my sister.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool you've done something like that.
It was like... And it's just like... You don't think about it, but you like... There was shit going down. And that's why they had to make certain changes. Like, the people scared the government for a couple years. They were really making moves.
Is that where the government was scared?
Now they're like, all right. We had to put our foot back on these dudes because they got a little free and shit.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know what happened because... Oh, well, what were you saying?
No, I was just going to say that I really think that is really good that you actually went out there and you marched for it. You know, I feel like some people think that marching is, it's nothing. But that you actually getting out there and doing something for your cause, what you believe in. Yeah. You know, it doesn't matter what it is. And I can respect that on whatever side you're on.
I feel you.
I'm just saying.
I'm
just saying. I can respect that. Respect that.
And then it's just like... I don't know. It was just, I guess there was a lot of build up and it kind of like, that was the boil over, like everybody, it was so many people marching.
Yeah.
White people marching for black people. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
It looked like America was about to be really what America it says it's going to be.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
And this is just the whole flip side of it. This is America trying to be great again. This is America trying to be great again.
Yeah.
And it's weird because at first I felt like, okay, like, I was like, everybody's super woke. I felt very like, oh, everybody wants to be on my side, but they just don't know how to be on my side. I felt like I really had teammates, and now I really feel like I'm being attacked. Mm-hmm. So it's weird how the tables have turned with leadership, but I guess that's what a change in leadership is.
Yeah. I feel you, man. Hey, man, let's go ahead and get to the next topic, man. Go to number 4, the accidental leak of military plans via the Signal app. Now, I think this one is really crazy. The video's gonna get a little more in depth into it, but basically, just go ahead and play the video, man.
Now, the White House has confirmed it inadvertently added a U.S. journalist to a private group chat discussing classified plans to bomb Yemen. Now, it's an extraordinary breach of security with America's entire national security team in the group, including the vice president. The journalist, Jeffrey Goldberg, was informed of the strikes 2 hours before they took place, a little over a week ago. Well, Sarah Smith is live in Washington with the very latest. Sarah, Jeffrey Goldberg, he is the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic magazine, and he's written at length about what beggars belief, being put in this secret chat group with the highest level authorities when it comes to America's national security.
I know, it's stunning, isn't it, that a messaging app like Signal could be used to talk about military plans, and absolutely shocking that a journalist could accidentally be added to this group of top national security officials. And these messages that he was able to read over several days in real time start off talking about possibly taking bombing action to protect shipping in the Suez Canal. And J.D. Vance, the Vice President, is pretty sceptical because he says far fewer American ships use the canal than European ones. So he writes in one message referencing Pete Hegseth, the Defence Secretary. He says, "If you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing Europe out again." And then the Defence Secretary responds saying, "I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic." And then the next day, the group's informed that the bombing raid has been a success, and messages start flowing in. From John Ratcliffe, the head of the CIA, he said it was a good start. Then you've got Mike Waltz, the National Security Advisor, just using some emojis. MAR, we assume, is Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State. He says, "Good job, Pete, and your team." Kudos to all, chimes in Susie Wiles, the White House Chief of Staff, and then the presidential envoy, Steve Witkoff. He's just got a few...
Prayer hands, brother. Prayer hands, muscle arm, American flag.
That is so crazy, bro. Bro, are you crying?
Yo, nah.
Bro,
Nah,
that shit is so crazy, bro.
We're cooked. We're cooked. They
Good job, Pete. That's what they're texting like, yo, what? They're really sitting here, sending group chat, sending emojis, the flex emoji, the prayer, got the prayer hands, bro. Like, yo, this is comedy. This can't be real,
brother. J.D. Vance texted like it was a friend. Like he had to pick up a drunk friend from the bar. He's like, "I'll do it, but I just hate having to go pick up."
Gotta save Europe again. Gotta pick up Europe again. Gotta go pick up Europe again.
They're always having late nights and shit. What?
Bro, that is insane.
Am I playing more? Or?
No, we're good, bro. We're good. Bro.
Thank you, because I am good. I don't want to see the rest of that text, Shane. That shit. First, texting about a bombing on Signal. She right. What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Talk about that in person or something.
Yeah, set up a meeting, an actual meeting.
Secondly, we bombed Yemen?
I forgot to say that. We did.
We bombed?
Yeah.
Fuck the journalists being there. We bombed Yemen?
Yeah, we bombed Yemen. That's crazy, right? Not putting that in the title.
I don't even know why.
Not putting that in the title. But yeah, bro, I didn't know about that either. I was like, yo, we bombed? When did that happen?
Now we just bombing folks. In the group.
Per hand. Hey, bro, that shit is so crazy. Bro, I honestly, bro, I just can't believe it. Like, it just...
There are children in there running our country.
This is like a movie making fun of what politicians...
Whoever said kudos to all, at least they're fucking professional. Prayer hands... Fist pumps.
And the flex, bro. And the flex and the fire, yo. Like, fire, bro. Like, yo, this is a joke, bro.
A good start. Kudos to all.
Bro, this is a joke, man. So just give a quick summary, and I'm not going to name the guy, but in March 2025, a significant security breach occurred when a journalist was mistakenly added to a private signal group chat.
You're not going to name the guy?
I wasn't going to throw him out there. I don't know what
they said his name 7 times in the fucking thing.
They did?
Yes.
I'm not saying it, bro. Whatever. But so he was mistakenly added to a... I'm not... It's whatever, bro. He was mistakenly added to a private signal group chat involving senior Trump administration officials. So here's my, conspiracy theorist brain. Do you think it was an accident for real?
No.
I don't think it was an accident.
But I don't see what adding... Because there have been things where people need something leaked all the time for it to get attention.
Yeah.
But would that be from a side that didn't want to bomb Yemen? Like someone who didn't want to bomb Yemen?
Maybe.
This to get exposed?
I don't know. It was just a question I had.
Yeah, but I feel like that's so... It seemed like it was like a 5-person group chat.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a 5-person group chat and been like, hey, who's Jeff?
That's what I'm saying, bro. So, and I don't think that video showed it, but there was a video Trump was asking about. He was asked about about the group chat being leaked and someone being in there. I think he said something like, I don't know about it. He just dismissed it and just.
I mean, that's his job, is to not know about it.
I feel
his face.
I feel you.
He probably didn't know about it.
You don't think so?
I don't think Trump knows about who we bombing.
No, I'm talking about the person being in the thing, just like the whole situation.
Like, he doesn't know about
He
the
said,
group
I
chat
don't
at
know.
all? Oh,
Like,
no. That's media training.
Yeah.
But I don't think he knew about the group chat before. No way Trump wouldn't have been in that joint texting American flags. Or somebody say to that, like, he may really not have known about that.
Mm-hmm.
But
how would that's fake?
Hmm?
How would that's fake? The group chat.
I hope so.
I really hope so, because ain't no way.
But we've really bombed Yemen.
Yeah.
So,
we did, though.
It don't matter if it's fake.
You're right. No, you're right. So, let's talk
That seemed like an SNL skit. Like that.
But that's what I'm saying, bro.
That was... Like, oh my gosh, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like it's an SNL skit, like a movie. Like, they're making fun of politicians. And just how childish
Living
they
through
can
a
be.
movie, bro.
Like, we are literally living through a comedy movie right now. You know what I'm saying? So, the implications of this incident raises serious concerns about how securely the government communicates, especially regarding the military operations. It also highlights the potential risk of using messaging apps for discussing classified information.
It's crazy to think that my golf store uses the same messaging.
Do they really? I've never heard of Signal.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm living on a rock, but I've never heard of Signal before.
It's just like business messaging. That's
like,
literally all
like
it is.
WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like it's supposed to be something about it's super secure. Like it's a more secure. It's just something about its security, and I'm thinking it's pretty secure unless you have someone else. You just have the wrong person in the group chat.
Hey man. So I've never heard of them before, but it don't sound too secure to me.
I mean the signal didn't fail. One of them is in the group chat. Whoever made the group chat failed. Signal did his job. It's like I can't stop somebody you show the information to from knowing the information.
So my question is, just taking a slight step further, we are living in a modern society environment. So using messaging apps like Signal, WhatsApp, Teams, Zoom, do you think that is appropriate still, especially for our, we're just thinking for politicians, businesses use it all the time. Is it something that we have to cut off for politicians, or is it something that they got to be a little bit more?
I think we have to use it because the speed at which we communicate is half the reason why people are able to be so successful. Like we have to communicate without being in the same room as somebody else.
Yeah.
I think we have to work on our measures of security, but this is like one of those things where if it is real, it's like a freak. It seems like it's basically a freak accident. Like because this happened, there's going to be measures in the future where it's like you literally won't be able to text in group chats until it's like been seen by the head of security, senior advisor, and then it's like you can't make group chats without, and it'll be illegal for politics. Like it's going to be so many things put in place if this is real for it to be like the future, like kind of Snowden. Like there was so much stuff put in place after him. Like that problem will never happen again. But I think that before this, I don't see how people are so lackluster to do something like that. So I think that in the future security will be heightened just so it never happens again. But I think that you have to be able to communicate without being in the same room as somebody. Cause, like if they all had to fly to the same spot, not in terms of I don't think we should bomb Yemen, but that plan probably doesn't happen for another week. And I'm sure in terms of world security, a week is a crazy amount of time.
That's a long time.
So
that is a long time.
That's a long time for anything, to be honest. But I think that communication will still happen online. Just way more security measures is going to be annoying for politicians. Yeah. But something like this can't happen.
It literally can't.
Especially if you're trying to keep the U.S. citizens as sheep, and you got something like this leak out. Like, we not supposed to know that they bombed Yemen. Yeah. That was supposed to fly under the radar.
And almost did. I ain't know.
Only reason I know It's because really I was laughing at the politicians, and that was on the back burner. Like, actually, the information was crazy.
Yeah.
So
that is crazy, man. Like you said, I think they do need that that speed of communication. That those type of platforms make it easier and faster for them to be able to communicate. But like you said, there needs to be an extra level of security, so situations like that cannot happen where somebody is accidentally put into a group chat and this stuff gets leaked. Just for national security's sake, you know what I'm saying? Because it could just for national security's sake. Even besides the bombing, just national security. You know, it could be they sending talking about a message about our moving files with our social security information. You know what I'm saying? And then somebody's able to, it's going this route at this time. They can intercept that. Now somebody has your information. They have my information, your credit card information, your address, and all that other stuff.
That the politicians, I'm sure, see as way less important.
Yeah, but still, but for us, that's still that stuff's pretty important. You know, so we got to think about those type of things. You know, that like. Come on, guys. We gotta do a better job. Come on, man. Come on, man.
So NATO,
go ahead.
Talk to him.
I thought you were gonna do it. Go ahead and drop.
NATO's call for civilian preparedness. Now, as a civilian, I feel as though you should really lock in for a second because it's calling for your preparedness. Like NATO, if you don't know, NATO is the national asshole toward. Nah, I don't even know what NATO stands for. I'll look it up in a second.
National Atlantic Treaty Organization.
Made for protection during when World War II.
That was a while ago.
No, it's not World War II.
It was actually pretty recent. I'm not gonna lie.
Then it might have been Cold War.
I don't think it was a Cold War. Just look it up real quick. But it's the National Atlantic Treaty Organization. It's a group of it's basically a group of a bunch of different countries that are working together to be able to, like I said, it's
1949.
Yeah, I knew it was 1949. I think that's pretty recent.
It's near World War II. I don't know if it was.
Tell me when World War II.
I think World War II ended in 45.
You can tell we're not history guys. You can see.
I think it's 41 to 45. Damn, 31 to 45. Okay.
What was World War II?
World War II ended in 45, and if something happened, it was some type of thing there. But NATO was like, the U.S. was like, we need everybody to be on our side, we also need a reason for beef. So if you attack anybody, it's beef. Like it's us.
And I'm glad you actually pointed that out. Because there's a lot of people who don't know what they've heard of NATO, but they don't know what it is. So I'm glad you brought up NATO. Basically, like you said, the National Atlantic Treaty Organization is basically a group started after, during, or whatever around World War II to get a bunch of different countries together, almost like an allyship, you know, like a friendliness that if something happens with somebody, they're gonna come and we're gonna aid them, you know.
Yes, aid.
Yeah, that's a great word. Aid them. In whatever's going on with what's going on. And so going back to what we're talking about is a NATO leader, Admiral Rob Bauer, said that regular people should get ready in case there's a big disagreement or fight involving their countries. I think there's a video for that. Go ahead and play that video. It should be number 2.
The realization that not everything is plannable, not everything is going to be honky-dory in the next 20 years. I'm not saying it is going wrong tomorrow, but we have to realize it's not a given that we are in peace. And that's why we have the plans. That's why we are preparing for a conflict with Russia and the terror groups, if it comes to it, if they attack us. We're not seeking any conflict. President Trump's plan.
So
that is true and scary.
That is very scary. Like very, very scary. Because if you're reading between the lines, he's saying something's about to happen. If you really look at it, like that's why
20 years
something is going to happen. And that goes into one of our other topics we were going to talk about. There was an article, and basically it was saying reports are saying that Russia is getting its army ready and might be preparing for a big fight with other countries in NATO. So there's no video for that, but that's just giving a little. There was an article talking about it, and it kind of goes hand in hand with what the general. What was it, General Rob, or what was his name? General Rob Bauer, Admiral Rob Bauer, excuse me. Telling people.
Put some respect on it.
I know, right? No, exactly. But talking to the regular civilians, telling them, hey, you need to get ready. And it's actually interesting. I seen a video. There was a video that went viral on TikTok with I think he was some war vet or somebody in the army or just got left or disbanded or whatever. He was like, hey, you guys need to start stacking up on food and water and all this other stuff because something's coming.
That's horrifying.
But go ahead, you first. I've been talking.
You haven't been, and you're just explaining the situation. But I think that when he said it, it's kind of like certain things don't like click to you as a person. Like we've been talking about, like as you grow up, you realize people are people. Like people are just it's like that is like a mask that's uncovered for you, or just like a veil. I'll say more so because it's not like they're hiding that they're not people. You just don't understand how
exactly
it works.
Don't understand that moment.
For this one, he's basically saying like war isn't like war doesn't have to be sportsmanlike. They could just attack. It could be a terror group and they just attack.
Yeah,
and they're saying that
and we've seen
not
that
that's possible. Not that that's never possible like all the time, but it seems like he's leading into saying that what they're dealing with right now and how they're conversing or conversating with each other is leaning. You're more likely. We're more susceptible to that at the current moment, or like we might be talking a little shit to Russia. Is what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds
like. Russia's talking shit to us. And they're like
somebody talking shit.
We're a little nervous.
Yeah, somebody talking big shit.
We're a little nervous.
So I think so this is also why I like the Inuit podcast, because this is something that I wouldn't have been privy to or known about if I wasn't keeping up with these current events and topics like that. Don't get me wrong, like I'm just gonna give a little background. I was never really the biggest politics guy or just news guy. Thought news, I was like, oh, this is so negative, this is so this, so that, which it is, but at the same time I feel as though I need to make sure I at least know what's going on to a little extent so I can know just what's going on around me and so I can be able to prepare. Like situations like this is something that, everybody, not even just Americans, everybody globally need to really take into account. Something could happen and you and your family might not be able to go and grab food or water for however long, whatever this thing lasts for. Yeah, safely. That's what I'm saying. So it's better to be, I guess, what's the word, proactive, and go out and just in case something happens, going ahead and getting like a couple canned goods, some water, some, what's the imperishables or what are the non-perishables? Non-perishables. Going getting stuff like that and just, storing a couple away just because you never know what, can go.
Better to be proactive than reactive.
Yeah, be prepared, better be prepared than scared. I'm on a roll down. So a couple follow-up questions. We kind of already touched on this. What can families do to be ready for emergencies? I kind of touched on a couple more things. Is there anything else that you can think of?
Man, get some generators.
Yeah, I think generators, that's a big one.
Don't know what's going to happen. I'm not...
Some water-powered generators.
Buy bullets.
Bullets, yeah, and get some weapons ready.
There's a bullet shortage, too, so you better get them while they hot.
Yeah, they getting expensive, dog.
Dang. Start learning how to make a fire.
You know what's scary? You might actually have to start talking to your kids. Hey, if something happens, we need to have a plan. And that's hard.
Yeah, that's scary.
That's scary. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember, I think it was around World War II. I'm glad we brought this up. But they used to have to teach kids, if a bomb goes off, get under your desk and shit like that. Think about your kid having to be taught that in school.
Shit, even more, what's the name than that? I think Cold War. Cold War was literally like, that was when it was like nuclear arm. Like they they were like back and forth. Russia was threatening. They had I think it was Cuba. They had missiles in Cuba or something.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the Cuban Missile Crisis, right, or whatever.
Yeah,
maybe.
So I think so, but I think like my dad was like, no, that was scary as fuck. Like,
oh, he lived it.
Yeah, I think it was super recent. He was born in '70.
Nah, I feel you. I'm just saying, like,
but
it's just crazy to think that stuff.
And if not my dad, then my granddad. Like,
oh yeah.
That nigga was around for World War II though.
Yeah.
Or he told It told my grandmother that my grandmother told me that my granddad called her crying. He thought he was about to get put on the front line.
Oh,
Didn't happen though. And then
That's good.
my girl, goddamn granddad had the same story. I was like, they was gonna put all these black people on the front line.
Hey
Damn.
man. I'm not gonna get into that part, man.
But
And then say we not citizens or not Americans.
it's,
My fault,
it's
bro.
not American, anti-American.
We. Hey, let me chill.
Cold War started in 1947. That's why NATO was made.
Was it you I was talking to? No, it wasn't. Someone said Cold War never ended.
I think that's a thing. That's like it just kind of fizzled out. Like we're just not attacking people. They just are like, all right.
Yeah.
It says late 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed, which is it was kind of Soviet Union versus the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But
Well, I got a question. Soviet Union, but I know they were large, but that's one place getting ready to take on a bunch of different places. They must have been strong as shit.
Russia's been up, bro. Russia is big.
I'm trying.
Russia be locked in. Russia's always prepared for that hot shit.
Yeah. Just putting that in perspective. Soviet Union versus everybody, like, you know what I'm saying? Me versus the world type shit.
I don't think it was everybody, because there was also the Soviet Union had something called like the Warsaw Pact.
Yeah.
And,
with like Poland and all them.
Yeah, so.
But that was all part of the Soviet Union, kind of, wasn't it? I see. It's been so long. I need to brush up on my history. I actually did a project on this.
You did? Because I did. You know, it's crazy. That's what my fucking
No,
history
you did
paper
not,
was about.
bro.
It was like a comparison between NATO and the Warsaw Pact. And
That's
my history teacher was like,
crazy.
there's literally nothing. They're not the same thing. I was like, I'm going to write a paper.
That's crazy that you did the same, because I did the same thing, bro. But yeah, yo.
Great minds.
Think alike.
Type shit.
Like you said, man, you said go ahead and start preparing, getting food, you said getting guns, just having weapons. I don't want to say guns, just getting weapons, being able to defend yourself. I feel like that's very important. And like we said, maybe starting to get a plan together with your family, being like, hey, if this happens, we're going to do X, Y, and Z and stuff like that. That's just, I hate thinking about that. And I would hate to put my kids through that. You know what I'm saying? Be like, hey, you know, something could happen. We need to prepare. I'm not gonna put it that way, but like, you know, I'm just glad I don't gotta do that right now. That would suck, bro. But we gotta start preparing, man. This is not saying that it will happen, but it is a possibility that it would. And I'd rather people be, you know, prepared than you know,
Stay
scared.
ready so you don't gotta get ready.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, hey, man. I don't really got much else to talk about today. I think we covered a lot of good stuff, and this camera keeps cutting off and stuff like that. Yeah, man. I just want everybody to be prepared. That's one of the reasons for this episode. Just everybody be prepared. Really
Lock in.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to scare anybody, but just, you know, just you gotta be prepared.
And we have a society right now who, like, tragedy is like funny to us. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like,
I know what you're saying. That's why I'm laughing.
We're so like numb to really like crazy stuff happening.
Yeah.
Like, I saw, it was an Instagram video of Deshae Frost, you know. He was in Thailand during a 7.7 magnitude earthquake.
I heard about that.
And his boy was laughing while it was going. And Deshae's like, why are you laughing?
I feel like you would do that.
I probably would.
If I told you I was in the earthquake, you'd be like...
No, I'd be in the room laughing.
That's what...
horrified.
But that's what I'm saying. You'd be like, not, I don't want to say nervous laugh. It's like, what the fuck is going on laugh?
Like, wow. Like,
yeah.
Wow, I'm really about to die in an earthquake. Wow. And then I'd be scared as fuck. Like, it would run out after a while if it, like, got hectic. But it was, like, seeing them laugh until the point where they were like, oh, no, we might die. Like, you see that switch in their shit, and it's like, oh, my God. I don't want that switch to be that late for us. Because it seems like our society isn't going to react to this thing until it's in the mix. Like, they have walked through, like, 3 states, and now they're coming to yours, and now we're trying to buy bullets.
That's what I'm saying. So, and like I said, that's one of the reasons why for this podcast, to keep people up to date so they know what's going on so they can be prepared. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying getting all deep into every little crack and crevice of politics and what's going on in the world, but understanding stuff like this helps you to be prepared and make choices, make the decisions necessary
before
it happens, to better protect you and your family and your loved ones. That's the main thing. That's all I want to do with this podcast, man.
I feel you, man. Just be prepared, man.
For us, bro. Man. For us, yeah. For flex and flip, man. Be prepared for flex and flip, man. Hey, man, I really appreciate you guys for rocking with us this episode. I think it was a really good episode.
I know it was a bummer, but look out for us. Maryland Football Club.
Oh, man, you shouting it out already?
I'm just saying. We might as well let the people know what's going down. If you made it this far in the episode, you get a little sneak peek of what's happening.
That's what's up.
Yeah. But
our
dear friend Tony
gave us a great opportunity to.
So the club manager of the Maryland Football Club team, they have contacted us and they asked us, because we are so charismatic, they asked us to commentate the home games for the football club. So if you want to tune into that, we'd really appreciate it. But you are looking at the 2 new commentators for the Maryland Football Club.
Yes, sir.
So,
so this is going to be, I think, not every Saturday, but all the home games are Saturdays between 5 and 7:30, around that time. We can get you guys the schedule so you guys can tune in. You guys want to check us out, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
you like us, you think we cool, funny, or whatever.
You might want to watch some soccer.
You like laughing at us or whatever.
Shows,
hey, man, you know what I'm saying? For your local Baltimore football club team, man. So be on the lookout for that. I think that's starting next week.
Thank you to the Maryland Football Club for this opportunity.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be great. This is my first time doing something like that on that type of level, you know, on a TV level, which is cool to you know
went out. So
it's
like it's about time to pack it up.
We on up, bro. What is up with you in this thing, yo?
It look cool, bro.
Did that look cool? Yo, let us know if that shit look cool, yo. That was slick. Hey, man, you in the whip with Flex.
Flip.
Hey, we catch y'all next week, man.
Deuces.
Peace.